Hi ladies, back with another tutorial. I was so excited last night. I got a few emails from friends, a couple texts, and one person called me and said, do you know that your face is on a blog that has so many followers and so many people are going to see you? And I was very surprised. And it was bluecricketdesigns.blogspot.com. And sure enough, I went, and I used to be a designer's makeup artist in Idaho when we lived there. And so in honor of her, Miss Ruby Sue, I'm wearing one of my favorite pieces by her, and go on over and you can see me on there. I'm so embarrassed that my face is so huge and ginormous on there, but there it is. And she's also asked me to guest tutorial there, so I'll be featured on there as well. So I'm really excited. Today what we're going to do is kind of a Merry Christmas look. We're going to be doing Christmas greens today, and I'm going to be using one MAC shadow, but then the other two are going to come from the 88 palette. But the nice thing is that the MAC shadow that I want to use, I just haven't used it a long time, so I want to use it, but it can be duplicated. So right in here, I'm going to use my fan brush as a pointer. The duplicate for the green that I'm going to be using is right here. So it's the second one over and fourth one down. And then the other green that I will be using is the darkest one at the very bottom right here. Okay. Move that. I'm not doing any foundation or powder or anything beforehand because we know that with the 88 palette there is a lot of fallout, and so I want to be able to take a makeup wipe and just wipe it right off. So first I'll be putting on Urban Decay Primer Potion. As we all know, Urban Decay Primer Potion is essential. It's going to make sure that your colors last, that it sticks more onto your lid instead of going all over your face, and it won't crease. Even though I will be using another base, which is the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, and I totally know where it is because I just got it out, so why wouldn't I know where it is? I mean, I don't know where it is. Found it! So since we're going to be using greens, I want them to pop, and white underneath is the best way to do that. So this all over our lid. Just need a nice thin coating. A little bit of this does really go a long way. Just rub it in with your finger. The NYX pencil does tend to travel, so you want to set that with a matte white, and you can use the white that's up in the 88 palette. I'm just going to be using Yayo from Urban Decay, and I'll be taking a flat shader brush. You can probably see that. This is Maxine's mop that you can get at the craft store. And just setting that inner corner. I'll be taking that same flat shader brush, and I'll be using Lime from MAC, but like I said, you can use that duplicate green, and putting this over the rest of my eyelid. To blend those two seamlessly together, all you need to do is take either more white or more green. I'm taking more white, using the other side of my flat shader brush, and just patting in between the two. I just got a new brush from Sonia Kashuk. She has a great line of really inexpensive brushes at Target. This one is more of a dome brush, and it comes to a point, but unlike my Merle Norman brush, let me grab that really quickly. This one doesn't come to a point as much as this one does, and so I really want to get something defined for my outer V right there, and this one would just blend it out too much, and this one would make it more precise. So that's why I grabbed this. I highly recommend this one. I just think it's called a large shader brush. I'm going to be taking that dark green, putting it on the tip, and because of fallout, I'm going to tap it off a few times. And then I'm just going to find the shape of where I want to put this. And this one I'm going to bring out a little bit more. Okay. I want to find the shape, and then I'll start blending with a clean 217 brush. So now that I've found my shape, it's a little bit rough around the edges, but I'll take a clean, I can't stress that enough, clean 217 brush and buff that out. I also really like using a very skin-toned color shadow for in between a darker color and the brow bone color. So I love to use Naked from Urban Decay, or you can use Wedge from MAC. I just swirl that in and use a fluffy brush. Go a little tiny bit on the green, but this is mostly buffering between the green and what we'll be using as the brow bone color. Now I'll be taking that same flat shader brush and adding just a touch of yellow. There's a yellow in your second column in the 88 palette and second one down. Just putting a little bit right on top of that lime green, just a touch to give it a pop. And then I'll be putting that lime green on top of it again. Lime green, and then just a little bit more white on the middle, or in the inside, excuse me. I'm going to take a little bit of that lime green with my 217 brush that I've been using to blend, and I'm going to soften that outer edge with the lime green. And now I'll be taking Nylon from MAC, which just has an awesome, awesome yellow tone to it. I'll be taking my 222 brush, concentrating most of it right there in the arch. Okay, so now take your eye makeup remover or your makeup wipes and wipe up all of this down here, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and cleaned up underneath, and then I put on my foundation using my Beauty Blender. I love this little sponge. I'll be doing a tutorial on it later on how to use this. Did concealer, used my powder flage underneath my eyes so that I don't get that dinosaur looking type skin texture. And now I'm going to be taking a little bit of my Urban Decay Primer Potion, little bit, literally, little tiny bit, and going underneath my eye. I'm going to be taking the same greens and the white that I used up on top on the bottom. Now, because my eyes are small and it's easier for me to have control when I'm using these types of shadows, I'm going to be using a lot smaller of a brush. Some people like to use a pencil brush. This is a pencil brush from MAC, if you can see that. I, however, want to use something that's going to give me a lot more control, especially since these colors like to go all over the place. So I'm going to be using a brush like this. Okay, can you see that? And I'll be taking the darkest green first, really smudging that into the brush and then tapping it off, because we just cleaned up all of this. We don't want to get it everywhere. Putting it right underneath. And I'll be using lighter colors, and so I can use the other side of the brush, but I want to make sure I get the dark on first, so I do both eyes. Just connect it to what you've done on the outside. Okay, rub it off, just on your hand. Use the lime green that you used. Put that right next to it and blend it in. And since this has green all over it and I'm going to be using white now, I'm going to use a completely different brush, and I'll be using a flat shader brush. Taking that white and putting that in the center, or in the inner corner, I should say, sorry. Okay, and I'm just going to use a touch of the yellow in between the lime green and the dark green. Now we're going to do liquid liner, so grab any black or dark green liquid liner and go ahead and put that on, winging it out just a touch. If you need help on winged liner, look at my winged liner tutorial. One of the reasons that I loved liner so much, the liquid liner, is so that I can put my false lashes on and it hides the band. Quick tip, I had an awful day yesterday where I think I was crying the whole entire day. The whole entire day. Oh, there's a text, yay. And just so you know, these don't last when you're crying all day long. So those ones that I had just opened up and just put on, they did not last. But I'm going to go ahead and put these on, and if you guys need help with lashes, go to my Perfect Lash tutorial. Now that our lashes are on, the glue will dry clear. I'm taking just a swipe of my mascara to bond them. I put my pinky behind and just really brush those lashes together right up against your pinky. You know it's not going to get against your eyeshadow. And then I do the inner corner of my eye right here since we clipped the inner corner of our lashes. So go ahead and do that to the other side. And a nice coat to the bottom lashes. For our bronzer today, a budget buy would be our Wet n Wild bronzer right here. Just go up and down on that. And carve out that cheekbone so it's really pronounced, and do your 3. 3 is coming down and around. With just that gold that's up on top, I'm going to highlight the cheekbone as well. Maybe just the tip of my nose too. Alright, I'm going to do my eyebrows now, and I'll come back with them all done, and then we'll talk about contouring a little bit. And if you need help with your eyebrows, just go to my Perfect Brow tutorial. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 222 brush. I like that it's long and that it's thin, but it's still a little bit floofy at the end, so it can still blend. I'll be taking some of my Naked pigment, or anything that's pretty skin colored, bringing it down the nose area. This is just an added thing. You don't need to do this every day. It's just kind of a fun thing that I like to do. And then I take a little bit on my finger and do it underneath my nose. That contours the nose a little bit more. Okay, so that's done, brows are done, and now all we need is just a very neutral lip. And the one that I have found that I like the best is NARS, and it's Blonde Venus. I got this with my friend Amy, who's also a makeup artist. She recommended it, and it is by far my favorite thing in the whole entire world. It still gives a touch of color without being way over dramatic when you have something like this for your eye. So there you are. Merry Christmas, and keep the requests coming, and also head on over to Blue Cricket Design. I'll be featured as a guest blogger over there soon, and also to see Miss Ruby Sue and all of the other wonderful things that she has to offer as far as hair pieces. Talk to you guys later. Bye!